time about how this boy stabbed me with a pencil in kindergarten. So a little background information, I was 6 years old and in kindergarten, obviously. I'm not gonna lie, this story kind of shows that it doesn't matter how old a child is, they can literally still be very mean and yeah. Well, during the middle of the school year, there was this new kid who came to our class and his name was Freddie. Now, Freddie coming in the middle of the year was kind of sad because everybody already had their friends. They didn't really want to talk to the new kid. And what made it even worse was the fact that he was a teacher's pet. And he was the teacher's favorite. So he was always picked to go up to the board and be the line leader, which made the kids hate him even more. For example, during lunch, Freddie would go and try to sit with some of the kids, and they would call the teacher over, say that he was doing something that was annoying them or really gross. And the teachers would remove him and put him at a table alone by himself. And I was one of the kids that didn't really make fun of him. I just kind of sat back and laughed, which I know is terrible. But like for part 2. Part 2 about this boy who stabbed me with a pencil in kindergarten. So like I said, everybody would pretty much bully him, and I was one of the kids that just sat back and laughed, didn't say anything to him directly. Eventually, we were getting in trouble for discluding him. We would all have to stay inside during recess with our heads down on the desk in the dark. So then everybody act like they were going to include him. Like the one time they were like, okay, we're playing hide and seek, you go hide. And then they never went to find him. So then this kid actually started getting violent. My guess is because the teachers and principal were not doing anything about it. When everybody was walking, he would purposely trip kids. This one time, this girl brought in pencils for the whole class, and she didn't give him one. So he said that he felt sick the one day, and all the kids went out to recess. And he went around and broke every single pencil. And I came in and I found it, so I told the teacher. And then during nap time, he put his mat by me. And when I finally fall asleep, he literally comes over and stabs me in the back of the neck with a pencil.
Time. Okay, so I had this vice principal that absolutely hated my guts. His name was Mr. Z. And for some reason, Mr. Z always involved me in any drama that happened in my grade for absolutely no reason. So this one day when I was at school, me and my best friend got out of our math class and we decided to go to the bathroom. When we walked inside of the bathroom, the entire girls' bathroom was completely destroyed. It had vandalized the entire bathroom and there was a bunch of girls taking pictures to post it on Snapchat. So then me and my best friend were just standing there in shock and we were like, who did it? And everyone was like, oh, we don't know what happened. So while me and my best friend are just standing there staring at all of the mess, this girl comes up to us and she's like, hey, do you guys want to skip 6th period? And that was me and my best friend's science class, by the way. But we were like, nah, it's okay, we're just gonna go to class. After that, we walked to the bathroom, we went to our 6th period class and everything was perfectly normal, and then we went to our 7th period class. While I'm in class, I'm just chilling, and then that's when all of a sudden Mr. Z walks into my class. He looks at me and then he points at me, he's like, come here. Of course I got up and I was really confused, but I walked over to him and that's when we walked into the hallway, walked all the way to the end of the hallway, and then he was like, why did you destroy the girls' bathroom? And I was so confused and I was like, wait, no I didn't. Then this man goes, yes you did, I saw you in the cameras and it was you. And I told him, no, that was not me. After that, he got all pissed off and he was like, that's fine, I'm just gonna go ahead and suspend you. So then at this point, I was really mad because I was like, I didn't even do anything. That was the end of our conversation though, and he walked away and I just ended up going back to my class. So then fast forward the next day, I'm in lunch with some of my friends and this girl starts saying that she's the one who destroyed the bathroom and she was laughing it off. And at the time, the same girl who was bragging about it also made an exposed page for the school. This exposing page was like, just talk about people from my grade and stuff. We'll call this girl Lexi, but Lexi really hated me and she had also posted me in her exposing page. So at this point, I'm like, the vice principal's trying to suspend me and I need to get back at Lexi for what she did. So me and these other people went to go tell the principal what happened, and she got called down to the office and she started confessing a bunch of things that nobody knew about. So she got suspended and police were also involved because she was selling you know what. But thankfully I wasn't suspended and now everyone hates her.
We're talking about how my mom forced me to stop walking around naked in the house because my dad was looking. Okay, so boom, let's jump right into it. My mom and dad are both in their 40s and I'm 13. I'm an only child and honestly, I was raised with my parents walking around the house naked. I'm 13 years old and now I just decided that I wanted to start walking around naked in the house too. When I walk into my parents' room naked, they both look visibly uncomfortable and I don't know why. My dad and I have always been close, so I try to continue our normal day-to-day conversations. Yes, I may be naked, but who cares? Well, one day my dad came home from work and I went to go say hi, kiss him on the cheek, and hug him like usual. I'm home, so of course, yes, I was also naked. My dad kind of brushed me off and ignored me, and I thought it was kind of weird. Next thing you know, my mom takes me into the room and she starts giving it to me. She starts strictly and firmly telling me that I am not allowed to be walking around the house naked, especially when my dad's home. Then we started arguing, going back and forth because I feel like I can walk naked because they do it. Now my mom forces me to wear clothes, and if I don't wear clothes around the house, I am punished. So now I have no choice but to. Now everyone in the house wears clothes, but I want to go back to being naked. Am I wrong?
Time about the scariest Uber driver I've ever had in my life. This literally just happened yesterday while I get ready. I needed to take an Uber to get to the airport so I could come here to Atlanta, which, guys, love Atlanta. I might move here. Like, I'm not even kidding, I might move here. This Uber, and I'm running out because it literally gets there within like 2 seconds of ordering the Uber, and I'm like, wow, that was quick, especially for my area. Like, yes, Uber's a thing, but like, I live in like upstate. Okay, so I get into this Uber, and this guy already off the bat, very unhinged. Like, I was already kind of spooked as soon as I got an Uber because I really hate getting male Uber drivers, and I honestly just hate taking Uber in general because I've like very rarely had a good experience. Get into this Uber, and this guy is like already unhinged, cursing and acting crazy, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna judge him because this is his car and I don't want him to kidnap me, so I'm just gonna be nice about it. But we get halfway down the road, right? I realized I forgot my anxiety medicine, which means I'm literally not getting on the plane if I don't have my anxiety medicine. So I'm talking about it, and he's like, if you just tell me to go back to your house, I'll go. And I'm like, OMG, like, why are you getting crazy? I was like, no, yeah, you know what, that would be actually really cool if you'd go. And I'm using my little customer service voice because I'm literally not trying to get beat up right now. I'm a little bit unhinged myself. He starts driving back, and he's like already just like talking with his hands, which, like, by the way, you're driving, you know, talking with your hands is like a little bit scary. I do it too, but like, I don't drive Uber, so I don't know. Anyways, I go and get the medicine, and as soon as I come back in the car, it's like weird vibes, like very unhinged weird vibes, and I already can tell like he's just gonna be hard to deal with. Driving, and he's literally swerving in and out of traffic, like being a psycho, talking with his hands, and he's not looking at the road. Like, he's staring at me in the rearview mirror and talking to me about some crazy stuff, like just literally asking me to add him on Fortnite and like weird stuff. And mind you, I had not taken my anxiety meds yet, so I honestly would have been like, chill. I would have been like, you know what, it's whatever if I had already taken my meds, but no, I hadn't yet. So I was just like, I'm gonna die right now. It's not even gonna be on the plane. It's gonna be in this car ride. This man starts telling me why he hates Will Ferrell, and I'm just like, immediately, I know you're nuts now. Like, you hate Will Ferrell, like, come on, like, come on. He starts going on a tangent about how, like, he can't go on planes because he's just sure he's gonna die, and he's all scared he's gonna die on plane rides, and like, just keeps harping on that, and I'm like, you're talking to someone who's about to go on a plane and you're telling me I'm gonna die. Oh my god. Every couple seconds, like, the conversation would go from normal to almost like confrontationally scary, and I'd have to like die him down, but I live 20 minutes from the airport. I throw him $20 for going back to my house, for like, you know, going out of his way to go back to my house after we'd already left. And I was like, you know, like, stripper money, like, trying to be funny. And he literally says, oh, you want me to get undressed? He's literally like, I'll get undressed right now. I'm like, no thank you. No thank you, sir. No thank you. Anyways, yeah, I'm in Atlanta. I've been a little bit MIA lately, and I love you guys, so yeah, that's my crazy story.
My sister had 14 kids by the age of 18. This story takes place in the 50s. My sister fell in love pretty early, and back then you can get married at a very young age. Her husband's name was Dean, and they got married after. My sister had 14 kids by the age of 18. This story takes place in the 50s. My sister fell in love pretty early, and back then you can get married at a very young age. Her husband's name was Dean, and they got married after 2 months of knowing each other. 3 months into their marriage, she found out she was pregnant with twins. They started to struggle in their marriage until they thought if they had more kids, that it would bring them closer together. So they worked on it, and she was then pregnant with triplets. So she's 5 kids in. They realized that the kids actually ruined their relationship, and they felt like they should start over and start fresh with other people. But they always want to keep a good relationship with each other for their children's sake. About 6 months later, she meets this other guy named Jeffrey. They get married after 3 months of knowing each other. Then they found out that they're having quadruplets. Now they're at 9 kids. After having all of those kids, she realized she only had 1 boy and the rest were girls. So after having 8 girls and 1 boy, they then decided to go to an adoption center, where they then adopted 5 boys to balance out the girls. And that's how she ended up with 14 kids by the age of 18.
Somebody had to deliver bad news to me this week, and they knew that it was news that was going to rock me pretty bad, make me cry in front of them. So what they did is they said the bad thing that they needed to tell me that sucked, and then they handed me a box of takeout from my favorite Mexican restaurant, and it was confusing and amazing. I don't want bad news delivered to me any other way for the rest of my life. Why are we out here raw dogging getting bad news when we could be doing it with tacos?